Okay? So, yesterday or the day before when I was covering this shooting, I read a quote from one of the parents who spoke to television. And one of the parents who lost their child at this shooting said that they felt that the cops were unprepared. And personally, I knew that that was not true immediately. Now, I can understand how someone who doesn't know much about policing or whatever could come to that conclusion. But it was very clear that the cops were prepared. Again, their budget, 40% of the city's budget annually, $4 million every year. They've got riot gear. They've got high precision rifles. They've got machine guns. They've got grenades. They've got SWAT teams. They've got helicopters. They've got tanks. They've got all this bullshit. If there were a Black Lives Matter demonstration in Uvalde, Texas, the tanks and the grenades and the tear gas, that would have been out in 30 seconds. So we need to understand that the cops were prepared. But not only were they prepared in terms of gear, equipment, and resources and people, but they were prepared in exactly what to do in case of a school shooting. Because again, they're so common in this country that police departments, right, like the Uvalde School District, right, which has its own police department, they literally had plans what to do if there's a school shooting. What do? We do this, we follow this plan, we do this, you go there, blah, blah, blah. So not only were they not unprepared, not only were they prepared in terms of weaponry, armor, people, they were prepared so much that they had the foresight to create a plan of action for this exact scenario. The Uvalde School District had an extensive safety plan. 19 children were killed anyway. This is from NBC News. And I just want to say, NBC News, that's a good fucking headline. From mainstream media, which honestly I have very little faith in, this is an excellent headline. Though, I wish they would have pointed out the police more, but still, even security plans that appear to be up to the latest research-based standards may have gaps and fall short of preventing the worst-case scenario, experts said. School officials in Uvalde, Texas promised to do everything they could to protect students from a mass shooting. Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District had doubled its security budget in recent years. According to public documents, in part to comply with state legislation passed in the wake of 2018 school shooting, in which 8 students and 2 teachers were killed. The district adopted an array of security measures that included its own police force, threat assessment teams at each school, a threat reporting system, social media monitoring software, fences around schools, and a requirement that teachers lock their classroom doors according to a security plan posted on the district's website. It happened anyway? This is insane to me. Once again, I need to say this. That police being police is the best anti-cop propaganda that could possibly exist. If I dedicated my life and 100% of the resources that my life entails, if I spent all of my money doing research, if I spent all of my time creating anti-cop propaganda, I would never even come close to this news story. The police actions in and of themselves are the best anti-cop propaganda anyone could possibly ask for. I cannot possibly imagine how a human being can read a story like this and come away with, cops are still good guys, just bad apples. It's just, the whole Uvalde police station and the old school district are all bad apples. Doesn't mean that cops in general are bad. It's insane. Somehow, the account provided by authorities is not entirely clear. I'm not sure if this is in the article, but it was reported that 18 minutes of police radio chatter was mysteriously disappeared. They just, somehow one of the car drives got corrupted. Oh, darn. What bad timing. Now people will never know what we were talking about while the shooter was going inside the school and killing children. Now they'll never know what we were saying on the scanner radios. Isn't that just such a fucking coincidence, huh? A high school dropout with no known criminal history was able to evade a district officer outside Robb Elementary School on Tuesday and enter a back door armed with a rifle. From there, the gunman, 18, proceeded down a hallway into a classroom where he locked the door and opened fire, authorities said. 19 children were killed, along with 2 teachers. I also want to say that one of the teachers who died, literally using herself as a human shield to make sure that kids survived. She jumped in front of bullets to save these children, something the cops never even dreamed about doing. The cops, with bulletproof riot gear and armor plating all over their bodies, they would never jump in front of bullets to save a child. A teacher wearing a fucking t-shirt sacrificed her life. But I also want to say that the teacher who died, one of the teachers who died, their husband had a stress-induced heart attack after reading the news and also died, which is something that I haven't seen reported in too many news agencies yet, but I feel like that is a direct result. So just want to throw that out there. Police and federal agents soon arrived and got a school official to unlock the door and then shot the gunman dead. I don't know what soon arrived. Wrong. I was praising the headline a little bit here, but the word soon here, whoever decided to write soon in this article deserves to be thrown in jail because that is disgusting garbage. To turn an hour into soon, let's be honest, what the fuck? The investigation remains in its early stages, and the school district has not answered questions about how its security plan was implemented, but the death toll suggests that even security plans that appear to be comprehensive and up to the latest research-based standards may have gaps and ultimately fall short of preventing the worst-case scenario. The fact that they had a security plan does not necessitate that they followed the security plan. That needs to be understood. Mainstream media here loves to do both sides. Okay? They have a security plan, and they just said, fuck it. I'm not going in there. I ain't going in there. I'm going to read this article later. Texas police lieutenant says cops were reluctant to engage gunmen because they could have been shot. I'll get into that in a moment. Again, a teacher wearing a t-shirt jumped in front of bullets to save the kids' lives. Armored like fucking stormtrooper neo-Nazi thugs with armor steel plating on their fucking legs, on their body, on their fucking face. They didn't even go inside the building. These motherfuckers are wearing Iron Man suits and they wouldn't fucking put themselves in danger. But a teacher wearing a t-shirt was more brave than any of these people. And I'm going to read a story later about another parent who was also acting heroically. But, one story at a time here. There's just so much to talk about. We can do everything we can to mitigate and prevent school shootings, but we are never going to stop these events from happening 100% of the time because evil exists, said Kathy Martinez-Prather, director of Texas School Safety Center. Again, these people belong in jail. I don't give a fuck. Okay? What criminal code is that? This is the Texas School Safety Center saying, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. This is the director of the safety of these schools in the entire state. Ain't nothing we can do. Gee golly willikers, I ain't got no idea. What? 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 That shit's fucking crazy. That said, it is important that we have plans in place and training and drilling on that plan. So they want to spend more money to train and drill on plans that they're just not going to do when the time comes. I'm not even going to bother reading that garbage. These are people that belong in jail. These are people that not only should be fired, they should not be in charge of these things. When you dedicate your life to quote-unquote school safety, and you say this shit and you defend people just doing nothing, your employees doing nothing, while someone is literally slaughtering 19 children, I'm sorry. You should at the very least be fired, but in my opinion, criminal negligence charges should be brought against you. You should be thrown in jail. You deserve worse than jail. Let's be honest about this. This is 100% evil. Because evil exists! Evil exists! Yes, this person is evil. This is the evil we are talking about. Is this person. Someone that takes and dedicates their life to making sure that no one who actually gives a shit can be in this position. Because that's what that is. Because again, it's not just that these people are garbage at their jobs, but it's that them being garbage fills the seat so that someone who actually would do something can't have that opportunity to actually protect people. That's why this is so fucking dangerous. The center has done a high-level review. What? A high-level review? What the fuck does that mean?
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
Of districts' plans as part of a periodic check under state legislation passed in 2019. The center also completed a detailed review of COVID-19 safety plans and intends to focus on plans for active threats next. Martinez Prather said, I don't give a shit what she says. She declined to comment on any specifics about the district's security plan. Oh, interesting. Or about the attack itself, beyond saying that the center has not found the district's plans to be in non-compliance. Oh, so she's just not going to talk about the situation. Great. So why is she in this article? But Matthew Mayer, a Rutgers University professor and expert on school violence, said reports that the shooter entered through a back door of the school were cause for concern. For any school, you need to be in control of your entry points, Mayer said. That suggests a problem if he could literally come in through a back door and it wasn't controlled in some sort of way. Again, they had armed guards. They had fences. And if it wasn't a back door, this motherfucker could have just climbed through a window? The Uvalde security plan describes secured entrance systems for 2 of the district schools, but not at Robb Elementary specifically. Okay, so they had all the fences for everything but Robb Elementary. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. The plan mentions fencing at Robb Elementary designed to limit and or restrict access to individuals without a need to be on campus. So it describes that it's there, or is it there? Who knows? I don't know. I don't live there. I can't go to the scene and see if there's fences. Curtis Lavarello, executive director of the School Safety Advocacy Council, which trains school officials on ways to protect against attacks, said that many of the measures included in Uvalde's security plan appeared to meet national best practices, but did not include enough details to determine how well they are implemented. Again, the plan does not matter if they don't follow the plan. The plan doesn't fucking matter at all if the people in charge of following the plan don't do anything. Very few people have been killed in school shootings behind a locked classroom door, he said. Okay, all of these systems are only as good as the school that's using them? Okay. Man, this article is all over the fucking place. The article, this is sanitizing really bad news. I haven't read this full article yet, but it's they had a full-fledged plan of action and they didn't do it? Well, let me tell you 18 reasons why that's okay. That's what this article seems to be doing. Lavarello said he often has to convince districts that elementary schools need the same level of security as middle and high schools. A lesson learned from the 2012 shooting at Newtown, Connecticut, elementary school in which 20 students and 6 teachers died. Elementary schools are just as vulnerable as any other school. They should be on the same level as in keeping with school safety practices for the rest of the district. Okay. But again, none of this means anything if the cops just stand around outside for an hour and a half. Authorities have not explained how the shooter got in the back door or the classroom door, which according to the district security plan should have been locked. The school was holding an award ceremony Tuesday for students who were just a few days from finishing the school year, which may be one explanation for the open doors. Parents reportedly were coming and going in the school all day. So, okay, let me get this straight. So this article talks about how there's a security plan, and police, the police didn't do anything, but also the teachers didn't do anything either. Is it the teacher's fault? And then it quotes like 4 people that are in charge of safety. Well, I don't know. Did the teachers leave the door up? I guess it's that teacher's fault. That's insane. That's fucking crazy shit. But what needs to be understood here, and the most important part of this, is that they had an extensive safety plan. They planned for this exact scenario, and it all fell apart because cops didn't care. It all fell apart because the security guards didn't fucking do their job. Those that got to the scene that weren't as part of the school security district itself, they just stood around, beat the fucking shit out of parents. I need you to understand. There were cops tackling parents to the ground, pepper spraying and tasing them, while a shooter was murdering their children. Imagine being a parent and you are on the ground with pepper spray in your eyes. You are crying. You are being tased and in handcuffs while you are hearing gunshots ring out, knowing that it could be your child who was just murdered by those gunshots. Could you imagine that? That's insane. That's insane fucking shit. That is insane shit. And mainstream media is going to try to sanitize it to the best of their ability. But they know that a lot of this stuff is not sanitizable. And that needs to be understood, right? Like they know that this is really bad, and they're going to try their best to make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. But I think most people are able to see through this kind of stuff. I want to play a quick video here from the Washington Post as well. A video recorded outside Robb Elementary School on Tuesday reveals new details about the timeline of the Uvalde shooting and shows parents who shouted the police response was inadequate and sluggish. Visual forensics video reporter Joyce Lee explains more. So this is a quick video to showcase what was happening during this police standoff with parents. Just a little bit inside this.
Hey, y'all can't be like that, man. Y'all can't be like that when there's people.
Yes, I do. Get across the street.
The video live streamed to Facebook on Tuesday suggests that the gunman at Robb Elementary School was inside for at least an hour before he was killed by authorities.
They're all in there. The cops ain't doing but standing outside.
The shooter entered the school armed with a gun at approximately 11:30 a.m. The video live stream begins at 11:54 a.m. It shows frustrated and scared parents shouting at police, trying to enter the building themselves.
6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
So again, just to be clear, you can see that these guys are wearing armor plating, right? Like, and yet they let a teacher wearing a t-shirt do their job for them.
Authorities have said that police officers tried to enter the building, but came under fire, and that a tactical unit eventually made its way in and confronted the shooter. They announced at 1:06 p.m. that the shooting was over and that they had the suspect in custody. But the details of what happened in the 90 minutes are still unclear.
So it was previously reported as of yesterday that this took place over the course of around an hour. We're learning more details that there was about 20 minutes before the gunman, so-called, got into the school where they could have done something they chose not to. It's now being reported that the police went in, got their own children, and then went out and then blocked everyone else from doing the same thing. And now it's being reported again that the shooting took place over the course of a 90-minute span. Again, about 20 minutes before the shooting took place, before he was able to actually murder children, right? And then about an hour of a standoff as he was murdering the children. That's insane. That's insane. That's fucking insane fucking shit. That's insane. That's fucking insane. So again, I just, I really need to talk about just how horrible policing are. And that's not, it's not, I don't even know what to say, but it's just insane.